Jessica, the Reincarnated Dog 7. By Hak Jin Kim. Jessica the dog. For several days Jessica has been with Jenny looking after her. There's not much thing to do for Jenny. Mostly, Jessica practices how to move her forelegs to write alphabets. Watching Jenny, who has been sleeping almost 20 hours a day, is painstaking for Jessica. But there's nothing Jessica can do to wake her up. While Jessica has watched Jenny from dawn till dusk, she has a chance look around the house. Everything seems neat and tidy in the big house. After roaming the rooms, Jessica finds out that Jenny still has a violet dress Andy presented. Jessica is so pleased to see that Jenny never forgot Andy. Since then Jessica practices the specific sentence, "I was Andy." After a month, Jenny opens her eyes wide in the morning and says, "Jessica, I thank you so much for staying with me. I think I can hear you what you are saying when you bark. I have no idea how I can understand you when you bark." It's a real shock to Jessica because Jenny understands her. It means that Jenny must have changed. While she has undergone the Sleeping Beauty syndrome. Then Jenny gets up vigorously and puts on blue jeans and a white shirt, humming. Turning to Jessica she says, "Jessica, I feel so great. I'm free from cancer. I'm not dreaming right now, you know. In my dream you spoke to me as Andy did. How awful it was. Sometimes I felt as if I were floating in the air." Jenny seems so excited with the entire thing that she experienced while sleeping. She says, "You know, the world in my dream was different. People I met there look happy all the time. At some point, you stood before me and said that you were Andy. It sounds ridiculous. Is it true? It's odd, but I think there's another world we can't see with the naked eyes." Jessica barks back, and Jenny looks at Jessica with narrowed eyes. Jenny asks, "Are you saying you agree with me?" In that evening, Jenny prepares dinner for Ellen and John and Jessica. At the table they are excited, sharing the past days, revealing how much John worried about his grandmother and discovered a new joy after seeing her get well. With excitement Jenny tries to show what happened, and goes on talking how she was doing in her dream. Believing as if she were a healthy woman. That evening looks like the happiest time in her life. Everybody in the room wishes that no mishap would befall Jenny ever. As the night falls, Jenny and Jessica together fall into a deep sleep. The rising sun wakes up Jessica. She checks Jenny first, who still is sleeping safe and sound. Jessica has waited for Jenny to get up. But Jenny doesn't wake up even in the afternoon. "There's going something wrong," Jessica mumbles. Jessica thinks her sleeping is beyond question. Jenny becomes a Sleeping Beauty again. Jenny has been awake and come around just for one day. That evening Jessica has to be taken to Ellen's home back, as Kate installs a surveillance camera. She can't put Jessica in such a desolate house. Almost for a month after leaving Jenny, Jessica has been in hell. Worrying Jenny so much. All she can do is to practice drawing letters with her forelegs in case Jenny gets her life back on track. Then Jessica will express what's in her mind. The harder Jessica practices drawing, the more she becomes pessimistic about what's ahead. Whenever she imagines the worst case, she runs to Jenny's house once in a while and watches her bedroom window, hoping to see Jenny, but nothing happens, and runs back home. At last, the day comes when Jenny gets out of a Sleeping Beauty syndrome for good. This time things change as Jessica has been afraid of. Jenny doesn't remember that Jessica has been with her for a month. So when Ellen takes Jessica to Jenny, she says, "Hi, cute girl, Jessica. How are you doing?" That is it. From then on Jenny's normal day begins with her tumor shrunk a lot. Everything seems excellent for every member of two families. On one Saturday after Jenny has come to herself, Sue and Tom are visited by Kate Griner. Kate says, "Hi, I'm Kate. We haven't properly met. I really thank you for your support. My mom gets better and better. Here's a token of thanks, a cake and a bottle of wine. Jessica was a good friend for my mom. And Ellen is so nice to John. He really likes to do everything with Ellen. I'm really happy to see John get along with Ellen. I'm so grateful to you. If you don't mind, I'd like to invite you all to our house. Sue answers, you shouldn't have. But we'd love to gratefully accept your invitation. I heard you're quite busy. Kate says, yes, I'm up to my neck in work. And hardly have my time left for myself. Oh, I should get going now. I'll let John talk with Ellen about the date and time. Thanks a lot. Bye for now. Then Kate leaves for the office in a hurry. By the way, Jessica feels abandoned even if she eats a piece of cake, which Kate brought for her. She is just a puppy and she can't stand this situation. She weeps whenever she's alone. She has no reason to weep at all. If she lives without knowing her previous life as Andy, she wishes that she would forget all the past days. But she has no power to be a normal dog. Jessica is looking back at her, which has stayed at Ellen's house for the last 5 months. Unlike before, she has experienced a lot of things. Consequently, she is under stress of her new life. One day she is sobbing on the floor in agony. When Sue comes home early to work on her painting for the exhibition, she sees Jessica lying on the floor. Come on, are you okay? She pulls her up and takes to her room, which has been spared for the artwork. She puts down Jessica in the room and spreads a large thick paper on the floor. She says, Jessica, this is for you. You can play on the paper. I'll put socks on your feet and then you can draw like before. I'm sure you feel a lot better. Jessica says okay. Bow wow, bow wow. A little later, both Sue and Jessica seem to concentrate on their works. Sue is working with her apron on and Jessica is wearing socks to draw. While Sue paints an oil painting, Jessica lets her socks soaked in various watercolor pigments to make letters. When they listen to a waltz, Jessica pricks up her ears. It's Over the Waves that Jenny and Andy love to listen together. Jessica isn't the only one that appreciates it at that moment. Sue also pays attention to that music. Soon Jessica uses her wits to develop her idea to make Sue know who Jessica was. She begins to write a letter, O and V, and progresses the rest of the word. The word looks like dancing, but it is absolutely a word. Jessica taps Sue to show her letters. Sue turns her face to Jessica and sees some flamboyant drawing. To her surprise, seen from a distance, it is a word, over the waves. At first she thinks it is a coincidence. But she realizes that it is a real word. With full of doubtfulness in her eyes, Sue looks back at Jessica thinking how she could know the title of the song. Besides, it was the song that her father, Andy, liked to hear most. More and more Sue becomes suspicious about Jessica. So, she asks Jessica to follow the instruction that she's going to give. Sue says, Jessica, 1 nod means no, 2 nods mean yes. Okay? Jessica nods twice and Sue jumps at Jessica's responding. Sue asks, my dad's name was Andy? Jessica nods twice. Sue says, oh my God. Were you my dad? Jessica nods twice again. Sue feels faint and says, what's happening here? You are a puppy. You were my dad, Andy. Does anyone else know this secret? About this question, Jessica nods once. Sue mumbles, it's unbelievable. Do I have to tell Tom and Ellen this incredible thing? At that moment Jessica taps Sue and nods once. And then she shakes her head, jumping on the paper, making the word, number. Soon she draws the words, you and me. All 3 words are mingled enough not to be readable. But Sue knows what Jessica is going to express. Sue stops doing her painting and sits on the chair with Jessica on her lap. She stares Jessica and realizes that this odd thing is happening before her. Now Sue is with her dad, whom she has missed so much since he was gone.